Founded in 1929, the Jewish Agency predated the modern state of Israel by 19 years. Some say it's an organization created by God, using men to fulfill His purposes. Today, one of the main missions of the Jewish Agency is still to bring the Jewish people back to the land. And seeing Jewish people return is like watching Bible prophecy unfold. Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel all speak of the Jewish return to the land. Jewish Agency Chairman Natan Sharansky told new immigrants they had fulfilled the dream of generations.
Only think for a moment, each of you, about your fathers, your grandfathers, your great-grandfathers, all those generations of your families, of Jews who were dreaming and praying next year in Jerusalem. And you did it.
The Jewish Agency's mission? Inspire Jews worldwide to connect with their people, heritage, and homeland, and empower them to build a Jewish future and strong Israel. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Thanks, Chris. Well, Alan Hoffman is the Director General of the Jewish Agency, and it's a pleasure to welcome him today to the 700 Club. Alan, good to see you. Thank you.
It's a great pleasure to be here, Pat.
Pleasure.
And I send you regards from Natan Sharansky.
He's a great man and a dear friend. I'm so glad. Let me ask you, the agency, established the state of Israel and were instrumental in bringing these people in. Why do people still want to go to Israel?
Well, as you know, the biblical prophecy
Yes.
is that the Lord will bring the Jewish people together from all four corners of the world. Ezekiel, Jeremiah, right throughout the Bible. And when the state of Israel was created, all the way back there, we're about to celebrate 70 years next week. When the state of Israel was created, there were less than 600,000 Jews living in Palestine at that time. Since that time, we have brought from all over the world over 4 million Jews to live in Israel. And many of the greatest achievements of Israel that we know in technology and in defense, the motive behind that have been the people who have come from the countries from which they have come to live in Israel.
Well, do they get a chance to visit Israel in advance, or they come sight unseen?
So some do. There are new programs like Birthright, which we're a partner in which young Jews do have an opportunity to come to Israel. But that's still a small minority of the immigrants. Most of the immigrants who we have brought in the last 70 years have been refugees. 1 million Jews who came from the former Soviet Union after the Iron Curtain came down in the last 25 years, or the Jews of Morocco in the 1960s, or the Jews of Tunis. Many of the Jews of Iraq, 120,000 Jews in the 1950s were expelled by their countries once there was a Jewish state. And the state of Israel has absorbed them.
Well, that's quite an expense, too, isn't it? I mean, the people, but they're delighted to take on that burden, and that is a burden to resettle their compatriots.
This has been an expense which we, acting on behalf of World Jewry, have helped make possible. So in the initial years of the state, when there wasn't a budget and Israel was fighting a war on 5 different fronts, it was World Jewry that made it possible to actually bring these Jews, get them out sometimes by secret ways from the countries in which they're living, and bring them to Israel. But imagine that in the first 5 years of Israel, we doubled the population of Jews within the first 5 years while still at war. It would be something akin to the United States having over 300 million immigrants over the next 5 years.
Be unbelievable, unbelievable. I remember meeting with one of your prime ministers, and he was telling me of an occasion where Ben Gurion was meeting with Charles de Gaulle, And de Gaulle said, well, Mr. Prime Minister, what do you want? You want some more territory? You want some more money? You want some arms? And he said, I want more Jews. and he said, de Gaulle said, you mean that's what you want is more Jews? And they said, yes. But that's what the country needed.
And as you know, Pat, I think, I'm not sure all the viewers know, that the very first law that's on the books of the Knesset of Israel is what we call the law of return, which says any Jew, the moment they put their foot in the state of Israel, has the right to become a citizen. So that was Ben-Gurion's vision. He said, without 5 million Jews, we will not be a viable state. We've passed that number many years ago. We think about the fact that the Jewish Agency has been the instrument to bring 4 million Jews to Israel, and we continue to do this day in and day out. And that's part of the story of fulfilling the biblical prophecy.
That's right. Well, we see it before our eyes, and we're thrilled that you're part of it. So God bless you, and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.